What's up, good people, and welcome back to my channel where we bond over our favorite TV shows, trending topics, and everything in between that we care about. So I actually took a break from editing 2 videos that are due to come out this week on the biography of Kevin Samuels, as well as the first episode of our infamous series that will focus on the self-proclaimed credit repair guru, Alex V. Miller out of Houston, Texas, who the U.S. Federal Trade Commission accuses of stealing $9 million from his customers. So that's going to be an interesting story. But I had to take a break because on the internet, seeing this trending story about Wendy Williams and her interview with Fat Joe. And honestly, originally I planned on never watching it, but I had some friends send it to me, and then I started seeing people talking about it more, and I was like, let me just check it out. And once I did, I was like, I got something to say. And so here we are. So it was interesting, to say the least. And so I was like, let me, make a quick little video on this and share my thoughts. And then for those of you who haven't seen it, throw a couple little clips in here. So before we get into that, just a little housekeeping. If you're new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button below to join one of the most evolved subscriber families in these YouTube streets. Also, for everyone viewing, please hit that like button below to help us grow. So with that, let's get into this. So one thing I noticed a lot of people chattering about as it pertains to this interview with Wendy and Fat Joe is that she was very disconnected and either not directly answering Fat Joe's questions or just flat out ignoring them. And what I will say is, Wendy, as many of us know, is a professional interviewer and has been interviewing people for, I guess, over 30 years probably at this point. And so from what I know from seeing Wendy throughout the years doing interviews is that she always takes over the interviews. Always. I have never seen her in an interview where she is interviewed. She will allow people to ask questions sometimes, and then she takes that conversation wherever she wants to go. So sometimes she will acknowledge that there was a question and give some variation of an answer. And other times she will just divert into something completely different. So that piece of it, although originally when I was watching it, I was like, ooh, what's going on here? I was reminded that this is kind of Wendy's style of interviewing. However, there were other pieces of it that spoke to there possibly being some other things going on there. And when Fat Joe directly asked her the question about if she had dementia, she never answered the question, but in a way her actions did.
Listen, Wendy, so we get you looking beautiful.
Look,
We'll get to it. There's so many.
come here.
Wendy, so many rumors about why you're not in the show. There was a big rumor saying Alzheimer's, that you forgetting stuff. And could you clear that up for the people? Because you got huge fans that want to know.
I don't mind talking about this. I was in Miami, and then I found out that my money was I don't want to talk too much about that, but let's just say I know what kind of money I have. Unfortunately, I only have $2 and nothing else. Everything is frozen. And some people are involved with this, and so that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, but Wendy, I'm trying to say, is it people you trusted that spread the rumor of the Alzheimer's so they could take your money? Is this a money grab?
No, people say things like that. Like maybe I went because I have the lymphedema. I told you about my feet. People say, well, I just am ready to go, and where is she, where is she, where is she?
And that was just one example of her being completely off topic from what was being asked. And I would say one of the things that made it seem like maybe she wasn't completely connected to what was actually happening was a lot of the times when Fat Joe was asking questions, she made a lot of reference to the fact that she no longer had access to her money. And one thing I thought was interesting that I had not heard before that she started to go into was that her son's account was froze first. And for me, that was the first time that I ever heard that, but it also seemed like she was about to start talking about it and cut it off. But I don't know, you guys let me know, have you heard that before? And also, what do you think?
I told you, when they froze my money and stopped it, they froze my son's stuff. And we talked about it. I don't want to talk too much about it because I know that a lot of people, how many people will know what you and I are talking about?
And when Fat Joe asked her about the Wendy show and basically her coming back and if she kept in touch with her staff, and she said something I totally don't believe, is when Fat Joe asked her the question of if she still talks to her former staff, Suzanne and Norman and the crew, and she said yes, she still does talk to them over the phone, and actually Suzanne and Norman actually come over her house. And I was just like, I'm just not believing that. And a lot of other people feel that way too.
Have you been keeping in touch with like Norman or Susan or any of these guys?
Yeah, no, I do. I'm in touch with all of them, you know, behind the scenes. You know, I call them up or they'll come over, you know, but I really, really do. I really do like being at my apartment.
But the other piece that happened in reference to the show was she was throwing quite a bit of shade, especially even in the beginning, where she was telling Fat Joe that really her favorites and the people that she preferred actually be her guest hosts and hold it down till she got back was Fat Joe and Remy, as if to totally dismiss the other guest hosts, which I think at a time the production company was acting as if Wendy was a part of the selection process. So I would say based on that response alone, she really wasn't.
It's been a while, Wendy, and we all miss you on TV. And me and Remy, thank you for letting us host the show.
Yes. Well, you know, I love everyone hosting it, but I have to say, if I only wanted one person, I wish you only did that always. And then I come back, and whenever I want to, you know, fly away someplace else for a little while, then you do it again. I love you two, or just her, or just you.
And I think one of the guest hosts that is the biggest thorn in Wendy's side in this particular situation of where she's at in life is Sherri Shepherd. And she's making it very clear that she's not down with the idea of a Sherri Shepherd show.
Okay, so is there plans for a new show, or are you coming back to the Wendy Williams show?
Coming back to the Wendy Williams show. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow. Because I know they were talking about Sherri Shepherd taking over the show, a new, what?
But I won't be watching her because I know what she's going to be doing, and that's really not my thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, anyway.
And those of us who have followed Wendy for years, since the radio days, we know that Wendy is really not a team player. And she doesn't really, it's something about her and other women. Wendy has never been the type of woman who wants to pull someone else up after she's made it. She's always been like, I'm the queen, I've climbed this ladder, I'm sitting on my throne, and I will stomp on your fingers as you try to climb up here with me. And so it is totally no surprise. And when in the very beginning they were saying that Wendy Williams, you know, was excited about this and all the other BS, I knew that was not true at all. I knew for a fact that Wendy Williams was not going to be cool with Sherri Shepherd taking over her show. Because the other piece was Wendy has said it herself back from her radio days. And I want to say even on her TV show, Wendy has said, I don't want nobody filling my seat. Nobody else can sit in my purple chair. We've heard her say that. No one else can sit in my purple chair. In the radio days, Wendy Williams would either not take days off completely, like not miss a day, or they had to play her stuff on repeat once she really got established because she refused to have guest hosts on. And so again, it is no surprise that she's basically hating on Sherri. It is, to me, it's sad because, you know, none of us are going to be here forever. And for me, I think it's always important to pull someone else up with you. And the truth is, no one can beat you being you. Like, there's no other Wendy Williams and there's no other you or me. So when you have a gift, when you have a talent, you don't have to be concerned with someone outshining you. Be you, because no one else can beat you being you. And it would be great if Wendy Williams truly understood that she's a legend in her own right. And in order to hold that title, she doesn't have to suppress those who are coming up the ranks behind her. Because the truth of it is, no one can reverse history. No one can go back in time and have that epic interview with Whitney Houston. That was probably one of the first things to trend before we even really had the internet going heavy. No one can go back in time and recreate that experience. So things like, and she has plenty of others as well, like situations like that. So it would be nice if her self-esteem was high enough that she could be confident in that alone. But she's a different kind of woman. And so that leads us here. And Sherri Shepherd, I think because of all of the chatter about this, did address it when asked in one of her Instagram lives about her thoughts about Wendy saying she wouldn't watch her show.
Did you hear about Wendy saying she won't be watching your new show? Yeah, I watched Wendy Williams, her live with Fat Joe. I absolutely did. And I did watch that I did hear Wendy say she will not watch me on the new show. And that's okay. I understand. I'm not mad at Wendy. She's going through a lot. I would say that everybody should be praying for Wendy right now. I'm very concerned. I'm really, truly concerned about her.
And at this point, with these interviews that Wendy is doing that aren't helping her, I think it's very clear at this point that we can say she is at least partially detached from reality, at least part-time, if not full-time.
You know, I'm here to support you no matter what.
Thank you. I'm going to start.
All right, love you, Wendy. Say goodbye to your fans.
No, I don't want to show him around. See, this is what people do. They want, because I know it's not just me and you talking about this. All right, I already told you, this is a very sexy place that I live in, okay? You had to have a lot of money to be able to do that, and that's all I'm going to talk about, okay? There's an upstairs, there's a downstairs, my cats are here, and that's it.
And I don't know what's happening with her team, the people who are actually around her. I don't know if they are with her or against her. I don't know if she is demanding that she is going to still do these sort of things. But it's really sad that in her efforts to prove that she is okay, she's actually building a greater case on behalf of the people who are trying to put her into conservatorship. And I was a little torn with this whole Fat Joe interview as a whole, in the sense of Fat Joe was kind of professing throughout the interview that he cared about Wendy and they're friends, and, you know, they were kind of reminiscing about how far back they go. And after this was done, and I don't know if it was a live or what, but after it was done, I questioned in my head, just a thought, and you guys let me know what you think in the comments below. But as a friend, if I did that interview and saw my friend coming off like that and knowing what their ultimate goal was, would I still put it out? Or is it that he said he wouldn't put it up and they insisted that he put the video up? I don't know, but it was just a thought, like me putting myself in the shoes of Fat Joe, where I'm like, would I have put that out if that was my friend? And yeah, I know I wouldn't have. I would not have, but then the other piece again is I don't know what occurred behind the scenes. That was he forced to put it out? Like, did they say, no, we want you to put it out. We could give a damn with how you think it appeared. But I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments below what you think. And again, if you're new to this channel and you have not subscribed as of yet, please hit that subscribe button below. And everyone, please remember to hit that like button to help this channel grow. So with that, until next time, until I upload the next videos, which are actually in the edit queue as we speak, I'm working on them. And that is my Making of Kevin Samuels video, as well as the first episode of our infamous series that will start off with self-proclaimed credit repair guru, Alex V. Miller out of Houston, Texas. So with that, until next time, make sure to take care and be blessed. Peace.
Hey, poppin' like I'm supposed to. Watch out for the people that ain't close to. Speak a little something you could toast to. I ain't tryna hear about what you won't do. Moving like I'm into. Hit the ground running like the rent do. Speak a little something that you're into. I ain't tryna hear about what you been through. Like hold up, say what's the hold up. I got the pack, who got the roll up? I'm tryna pull up. It seem like every time I show up, it gotta go up. See the drip, they see the glow up. Oh, now they know us. See, it's funny how my pockets out of shape, but I'm fit for the flex. Clear the phone call, hit my chick with a text. Parlay through the bird with my drip from the jets. Save a couple hundred by your with the rest.